Welcome to It Takes Two. I'm Blair.
I'm Chris.
And today we'll be talking about Love and Marriage Huntsville, Season 6, Episode 23.
Hey, listen, before we get into that, I want to tell y'all to subscribe, like, comment, share the content. Do everything you can to get us to 1,000 subscribers. I'm taking the responsibility off of us. It's y'all responsibility now. Thank you for subscribing. Thank you for liking. Thank you for watching. Thank you for all the above, family. Now, Blair, before we get into it, I have some questions that I want to ask before we get into the episode. Can I ask the questions?
Yeah, go ahead.
I said, Blair, can I ask the questions?
Yeah.
Okay. Do we believe the results of this drug test? Okay. Mm-hmm. That's question number one. Question number two. Really, what is wrong with Keke? Mm-hmm. I think that's a fair question. Mm-hmm. You think so?
Yeah.
And number three, just a third question. Do we believe Martell when he said Mel cheated as well? There's three questions. Give us your answers in the comments. We're going to ask more questions throughout the episode, but I'm just giving y'all some starter questions to get the brain flowing, to get the juices flowing. You feel me, Blair?
Yeah.
Now walk us through it, Blair.
Yes. Well, Mel recommends the drug test to Keke is where we start off.
That's so disrespectful. I don't even understand how she don't see that as disrespectful, but I see you, Keke.
Yeah, her husband Amin was like, she ain't got to prove nothing to nobody.
No. We here now.
Keke says that she'll take a drug test if Marsau does a lie detector test, and Amin and even Mel in the confessional is like, Marsau ain't gonna do that.
Why does he have to do that? Mm-hmm. Number one, like a lie detector test because he's lying on you? Like, what do that have to do with you? Mm-hmm. It's one thing if you say, hey, Chris, you need to take a lie detector test. Why? Because of something that has to do with me personally, because I believe you did this to me, or something that involves me. But you basically saying, like, something that's external of you. Like, it has nothing to do with you.
Yeah, it's between this married couple. Like,
yes.
You need to relax a little bit.
Go ahead.
Yeah, so Mel spins it to Keke and basically saying, well, you know what? We got to shut the haters up. This will be like a one and done, once and for all, and let them know that, Keke, you are not on that stuff.
Oh, my goodness.
So Keke says, okay, let's do it. So I guess they find a corner in the,
They found a bathroom.
Okay.
It was a bathroom there. I mean, you ain't got to make us sound like no animal. Like, it showed us the bathroom on the show.
Oh, they did? I missed that part. I'm sorry.
Yes, it was a bathroom.
I missed that. I'm sorry.
Uh-huh.
Well, yes, they found a restroom. And so Keke takes the test and everything comes up negative.
Do we believe the results of this test? Knowing someone who works in the medical field, do we believe the results of this test?
I'll believe it. I'll go with it.
Whoa, what? That's different. I believe and I'll go with it. It's two different things, doctor. Okay? Because guess what? That's my answer too. Listen here. I go with it too.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I'm going with what was said. And Mel, she went and she tried to name what all the things the drug test was testing. Mm-hmm. She did say opiates. So I think that's what her issue was pills. I think she was on opiates. So, or opioids. So I think that if it came up negative for opioids and that was her issue, okay.
Is there such thing as, usually when you get drug tested, you go to like a lab corp or something like that. Is there any such thing, or is there any validity to actually getting that over-the-counter drug test at all?
Yeah, there is.
Okay.
Yeah, you can take that and it can be right. I mean, my only issues I could see is like if maybe like the temperature of the urine was wrong, but that's really only if you're getting somebody else's pee and it doesn't cool down by the time, or like if there's all these different alternatives that could make it like invalid. But it didn't seem like it was like an invalid test. Like they had like the valid lines as well as like the negative whatever like that.
Thing
like
that
the
make
control
it,
lines.
Number one, I didn't see the pee inside the cup, so that makes it invalid for me.
Oh, okay.
And because the only thing I saw was a clear cup.
Okay.
And I'm not a judge of character, but I just don't think her pee is that clear the way I don't see anything. That's just my opinion.
I feel like maybe they like didn't show the pee.
Well,
for
whatever.
TV's sake, I don't know.
Number two, right? The pee in a cup would you even consider Mel a friend?
To Keke? No.
That's wild. That's.
But I would say she's been more of a friend to anybody else on the cast to her. But is she really her friend? No, you're not gonna come up to me and be like, "Girl, let's go take this drug test right now." And then I got it right now. It's like, girl, relax. You're not my friend.
No, it's not even that. Like, why would you even trust her to handle your pee? Like,
well, that's why Mel was like, "I'm not gonna touch it." She just pulled the.
But even that's wild. Like, why would I trust?
True.
Like, who are you? That's why it's usually done by a professional, because the coat or the scrubs gives me the feeling that this is professionally done. That you know what I mean. You don't come to me with no cup of your hand talking about some pee in this if you ain't my friend, best friend, cousin, something, one of those things. So I don't know if I believe the results or the validity of this test.
Okay.
I believe this was very much TV. You get what I'm saying? I'm not saying that Keke, you on drugs, but I'm just saying this was very weird to watch. Very weird to watch. Continue. Let's move on.
Yeah. Moving on, Marsau and Tisha are packing for vacation. They are going to be going away for 5 days. And Marsau says with the construction, they don't have time for 5 days. Now, honestly, 5 days for a vacation is long enough.
5 days on a beach is too long.
Especially, and it's a beach trip. We need to be out there for 5 days.
We need to be out there for 2 days max. But like I said, maybe they're going to a real nice beach. Look, listen here. The beach that's in our state and stuff like that, we don't need to be there for a day. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly. Ocean City, we be there for a couple hours and make our way back.
Exactly.
Yeah. He changes his attitude, saying he's excited to go because Tisha tries to guilt trip him. When you tell your daughter that you don't want to be out there for 5 days, he's like, whatever. Fine. I'm excited.
Exactly.
Tisha says that she's done with Keke. Stormi and Marsau move past their issue at the barbecue. Facts. When he misspoke and kind of hit a nerve with her, and he did apologize, and I did think it was genuine. Marsau is saying that he's more hurt than angry by the situation with Keke just because of how much they've done for her throughout the years. Marsau says Tisha can stand to be more accountable. And then she's like, well, give me an example. He says, when we were at the expo and Mel was talking about the whole situation about the organization, you got defensive about it.
Yeah.
And she, in the moment, isn't accountable for what happened in the meeting by saying, like, she did take accountability for it, which she didn't. She was saying, like, well, we're only here to talk about what actually happened at the event, maybe some stuff beforehand. But I'm like, clearly the stuff beforehand leads into how things are going to go the day of. So I don't know why that's so hard for Tisha. Maybe because she just was rubbed wrong by Mel. She just wasn't feeling her that day. But I was just like, yeah, Tisha, like, you have a hard time admitting your faults.
Yeah, this happened at the meeting for the expo where they was talking about giving criticism. And listen here, I understand why Tisha would feel that way. But if I was Tisha, I just wouldn't have came to the meeting. Because these people wasn't even trying to speak at your expo without getting paid, but now they giving free criticism. No, that's crazy. Yeah, you ain't got time to give free intel and free things to help people advance their lives, advance their careers, to jumpstart their lives. But when it comes to criticizing me and how things can be better, you got time. You got a free ticket. You got all the above. Mel has something to do that day, but she made sure that, hey, before I leave to do what I gotta do, I'm gonna come drop this criticism. Then I gotta go, y'all. You get what I'm saying? Yeah, that's it. So far in this Marsau and Tisha versus Keke, who do we believe so far? Because it's so, two people are saying the same thing for two different reasons.
Believe about, because there was a couple things said.
So. Well, okay, maybe I should say, whose side are we on? Are we on the side to where?
Oh, I'm on Tisha and Marsau side. I mean, Keke was way out of line.
Because my whole thing is, you got Keke saying, I'm done with Tisha. And I'm like, okay, that's
I don't know how you're done.
That's an interesting take to be on. And then you got Tisha saying, I'm done with Keke. And I'm like, okay, so whose side are you on with the whole done thing? My whole thing is this. Keke, I don't really understand what's going on here. Like that's my genuine response to everything. Every scene that you're in, I'm literally asking myself, what's going on here? How do I watch a scene from start to finish and then a commercial happens, and during the commercial, I don't know what the heck I just watched? This is every scene I'm in. You're trying to cause some type of diversion and some type of like magic trick, some type of sleight of hand to where we get the story off of you. And now the story is about how you're done with Tisha. You had a storyline. Actually, the first scene of this whole season started off with a story about you. You was the main character for your reasons. You get what I'm saying? For your allegations that Carlos King reminds us that you haven't been charged. And guess what? We gonna be fair. You haven't been charged. But you had your story. You had an opportunity to get your story out and tell your truth. But you said the lawyers told you can't say nothing. You shouldn't speak on it. We will respect that. How did that turn its head? And now it's about, I'm done with Tisha because of her cheating husband. I'm like, what? Okay. You're trying to throw like a smoke bomb in my face too, like to confuse me of really what's wrong with you. And by the end of the episode, I hope to find out what's really wrong with you. Continue.
Yeah. Well, we get to Mel's house. She is having an event planner to come over to help her plan her name change ceremony.
I hear you. And
her mom comes by as well. Mel says that she wants to have 2 security officers because she doesn't want any drama.
Oh, you're doing too much.
And she says pretty much, she's a single woman, crazy ex-husband. She needs security wherever she goes. How do you feel about that?
I feel like you're doing too much. I feel like you're trying to paint him as some type of crazy in the sense of there's different types of crazy, even though they all fall under crazy. You trying to paint him as this crazy as I need protection because something to where I need a male presence protection. Maybe security in the sense of he may come and disrupt the party and things like that, and you don't want him to be there. That's one thing. But crazy, I'm not at the part in watching the show that Martell is crazy and like erratic in that way. How did you feel about that scene? Did you agree with Mel with that?
Yeah, I agree with her having security, especially with how things popped off with stuff at Kimmie's house. She don't want that. She don't want, Amin and Marsau, or not that I think they're going to be invited to her party.
Not gonna be there.
Yeah, but I'm just saying she don't want people getting into it like that. Like the whole part about disrupting the party, she wants people to be able to be escorted out, and she doesn't have to get in the middle of it. So I don't blame her for it. She wants to have a good party and ensure that she don't have to stress about nothing.
Listen here, she said, look. I'm inviting y'all regulars to my house one time this season. Y'all go see my house one time this season. Y'all ain't go do none of that buffoonery at my house. I hear you, Mel. Continue.
Yeah. Well, Mel received her letter regarding the name change from the probate office. She hasn't opened it yet. She saves it to open it with her mom to see if they accepted the name change. She opens the letter, and they did accept the name change. She is now Melody Shari Rogers.
I like how they played it up to where it's like she don't know what it says, but literally on the mail it shows you your real name.
Yeah, when they send it to you.
It says it right there.
Yeah.
How do you feel overall about this name change and this party for the name change back to what it was? I think she was a Rogers before.
Yeah.
How do you feel about it? In like totality, because I never heard of a party for this or anything like that.
No, I mean, I'm happy for her. I think, honestly, I feel like life is short, so you should celebrate any and everything you want to. So I don't think of it something as like, oh, it's so small as a name change. Like, no, like you got married young and you were a Holt for so long. It brought you so much strife, but also good things. You got your kids, but I think she should celebrate at this point, going back to being Rogers and starting her life as an adult with her maiden name. So I'm all for it. What about you?
I mean, Holt also made her a lot of money too.
She made herself a lot of money
as a Holt. Like her name was not Rogers. You get what I'm saying? I understand that, but
yeah, I'm not on Martell's side about that. She could have had the name Rogers and done the same thing. The name don't mean nothing. She did the work,
but she didn't.
I know Martell didn't, because look at where he at.
Listen here, he still look good to me. He still look good in his suit. I see you, man. Mind you, we still don't know what Mel does, by the way. As far as I know, Marsau told us she sells t-shirts, but that's besides the fact.
Okay, here you go.
I don't know how I feel about these parties, man. I feel like I feel like it is doing a little too much, man. Like what happened to just having a dinner? You know what I mean? Just a dinner that you can have with your intimate folks, your mom, your closest friends, if you want to have it, to celebrate your divorce and things of that nature. I don't know, but like I said, I never been divorced. I never been through a bad relationship to the point to where I'm relieved that is over. You get what I'm saying? So I really don't know the pain and the anxiety and the strife that Martell caused this woman. You get what I'm saying? To the point where she wants to celebrate. That's kind of crazy.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? Usually people keep their last name because if they have children, they have the same last name as their children. But she's to the point where, hey, listen here, y'all go have your daddy names. I'm going back to where I start. I don't want nothing, literally nothing. I don't want your father to give me nothing.
But see, I also don't think that was all Mel's, not necessarily saying decision. It was her decision. But I think Martell helped with that decision making because we saw flashbacks of how, like you said, he put it out there like, you did all this as a Holt. This is Holt and Holt. Like I feel like he kind of put it in her head like, you know, you're nothing without being a Holt. And she was just like, well, you can have it back. How about that? And I'm going to still do me. So I think that he upped the ante and rubbing her the wrong way with that. And she was just like, yeah, I'm going to change my name and I'm going to celebrate it.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's fair.
Yeah.
Continue.
Well, moving on, Stormi visits Keke. Keke apologizes for snatching Stormi's cards because she did snatch some cards up and throw them. Tisha ignored her and it triggered her. She calls Marsau Tisha's wife, which I just don't like when people do that. Calling women the B word, calling him his wife.
Calling men the B word.
Yeah, calling men the B word, calling men people's wives. Like, one, I feel like you're like downing women, like saying like women are catty and awful and all these different things. And also, he's a man. He's just how he is. Like, I don't know.
And if he punch you, you can't do nothing about it.
Yeah, so I just think that's just dumb to me. Anyway, Keke said that she wishes that she didn't love Tisha and all of this would be so much easier.
Continue.
Stormi brings up Marsau saying how Keke seems like she's on drugs due to her actions. And in the confessional, Keke says she wants to shake Tisha for not realizing Marsau is cheating on her.
Stop right there. Question. This leads me to my second question that I asked in the beginning of the episode. Really, what is wrong with Keke? We can't use drugs now. Let's take drugs
off the table.
No, it's not off the table. Let's just push it.
Okay, to the corner.
Let's just take it to the side.
Okay.
Because, listen, we'll go with it, Carlos. Okay? If you had to say something else, what is wrong with Keke? You can't use drugs. What's wrong with her, Blair?
I think Keke...
Diagnose her for us.
I think Keke is feeling disrespected because of being ignored.
I'm not talking about in that situation alone. I'm talking about everything.
Overall, what's wrong with Keke?
Overall,
I just think
from everything that you've seen of Keke, every scene you've seen up to this point, even this scene itself.
I'll just place it as I think Keke is really insecure.
Okay. I like that. I like that.
I think that she's insecure about her history with drugs. She does come out and talk about it, which is a huge thing to do, but I think it still can be embarrassing. So when people use it against you, it does hurt. I think that Keke is insecure about her position on the show and that she, just hasn't been on long enough. People don't necessarily respect her. And in comparing herself to Tisha, she might just feel inadequate. So I think all of that combined, it's just like I feel like her bringing up this whole marital stuff, like we've been talking about the marital stuff with Tisha and Marsau. People have said things, but nothing's really stuck. I'm just like, at this point, like, why keep it going? It's up to Tisha on whether or not she believes it or if Marsau has really even done anything. So anyway, I just think Keke's insecure. What do you think?
Oh my gosh. It's so hard because truth be told, if if you didn't tell me that she was on drugs, that wouldn't be a good safety net to like. That's my safety net to say.
Okay.
It's like if you was to tell me that she's on drugs and she's acting like this, I think I would have a sigh of relief. I'd be like, oh, okay, cool.
Yeah.
It's like
like she's not in her right mind.
It's like it's easier.
Yeah.
You know. Now it's hard as hell. Because I really don't know what's wrong with this woman, this grown woman. You said she may be upset about her position in the show. She's a main character now. She has a whole, you get what I'm saying? Like I really don't understand. Like, you got this show by being Tisha's cousin. Tisha's on the show. If Tisha wasn't on the show, you wouldn't be on the show. I'm not saying that you should worship at the altar of Tisha, but I really don't know what's going. She can't stay on a subject for too long. And it's everybody. And eventually we should go touch on it in like a couple moments that she said she came there not even with the intention to get it with Tisha, but to get into it with Tiffany. But Tiffany wasn't there yet, so I guess she just went back to Tisha. You get what I'm saying? So it's like, it's all these things that I think, to your point, is insecurity. And if you are clean, we didn't take it off the table, but we definitely moved it to the side to where we're not going to say you on. Listen, we gonna go by what Carlos decided to show us, right? We're not going to say it's drugs. But Keke, you got to tell us what's wrong with you then. If you ain't going to let us say it's drugs, then you got to tell us what's wrong with you. And it can't be, I just love her so much. I'm not accepting that. Because if you love her so much, you would do what she asks you to do. And she said, don't speak of my marriage. Don't bring up my marriage. Listen here, whatever my husband does, that's between me and my husband, speaking as Tisha. You get what I'm saying? So it is some type of insecurity, and I can understand it does hurt, to Blair's point, if you are clean, and if you are making the work, and if you do experience some type of withdrawal, so if you do even experience the want to, and you choose not to, I can see why that could be hurtful, and why that would make you insecure, to basically like, hey, look, I shared my story with these people and things like that, and every time I act erratic or things of that nature, y'all say I'm on drugs. Yeah. You know what I mean? I think Keke, if I was to break it down even smaller, I think she's a liar. I think she's a liar. Have you ever met someone who just lie? It's just a chronic problem. You just lie. I don't
any and everything.
It's just like, what's wrong with you? You're just lying. I think Keke is a liar. You get what I'm saying? I think she over exaggerates things that doesn't have to be over exaggerated. And when people point out the over exaggeration, she goes, well, you know this. I think she's a liar. And that's a problem. Continue. Come on.
Yeah. Well. Yeah, going back to what you were saying about her initially, she wanted to confront Tiffany.
Yeah.
So they talk about Tiffany's interview of Carlos.
Yeah.
And they showed a clip of it, and Tiffany, basically what she was saying, I guess certain actions and the way Keke was acting, Tiffany was like, I'm better than that. Like, you're better than that. Talking to Carlos, like, is Keke better than that? I don't know. And they took it as Tiffany openly saying that she's better than Keke. Keke says that Tiffany's been talking bad about Stormi's products. Stormi had gifted her some products as well as like some roses, since Tiffany had been having, a hard time with the baby and was working and stuff like that. And in their ingredients, she talked bad about the ingredients, and she calls Tiffany a Karen.
What do you think about the whole Tiffany and Carlos King interview from what we saw? Like, how did you feel about that?
I mean, I feel like, I don't know.
And the reason why I asked, because I had bias in my head watching it, because I already don't like Tiffany. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, oh, somebody else don't like Tiffany? Cool. You know what I'm saying? But I'm really was looking like, what did she really say to make you really want to,
like, confront her?
Yeah, exactly.
Well, I mean, I understand, like, just basically the fact of, like you said, you didn't really know me like that, but you're talking about me. But to me, I'm just like, in interviews, people ask messy questions. They bring you up. So I don't necessarily think Tiffany just brought you up in conversation. It was probably from a conversation or a question that Carlos had. But about Tiffany saying, like, the whole, like, we're better than this, like, is Keke better than this? To me, it's typical Tiffany. Was it a good thing to say out loud? No. But do people probably talk like that in their house and think like that? Yeah, because why are you acting like this?
For some reason, I took that as a criticism as a castmate. I didn't take that as
that's a good way to put it.
I didn't see that as a criticism as a person because she made it seem like you're better than this. We're better than this as a unit, as a representation of love and marriage. Huntsville,
and how we want to be portrayed in the public eye, and it's just like she's making us look bad.
And I'm only putting pieces together. Because remember the first episode or the second episode, I think it was the first one, where Tiffany was like, "You think it's smart as a business decision to be around for us to be around Keke?" I took that as a representation of the show more than like, I think I'm better than you. But if we was to go deeper, if I was to go in that closet and get my dashiki out of there, right? You know, there is this there's this colorist thing. You get what I'm saying?
You can't ignore that.
No, you can't. Every optic matters. You get what I'm saying? Especially in Alabama, you know? Yeah. So you have someone who is dark skinned and you have someone who is light skinned and things of that nature, even to the point where Keke referred to Tiffany as a Karen. Do you get what I'm saying? Like there's optics, there's undertones to it, to where it's like, yo, I got this light skinned, almost white woman telling me that she's better than me. Yeah. And you get what I'm saying? And she's a Karen, you know? So there's always these undertones of it that makes it seem, you know, more than what it is. But I will say, Keke, something is wrong with you if you feel like this goes to my point. There's something is wrong with you if you feel comfortable going to somebody's house causing drama. Guess what? There's something called a phone. You have a problem, call somebody. But besides, you're not trying to. The reason why people think something's wrong with you, because all these problems that you call yourself trying to solve, we look at you and we just see you starting more fires. You started a fire with Stormi and Tiffany now. Yeah. Saying, you know what? Tiffany don't like your products. You don't come off as a solutionist. You're just
causing chaos everywhere you go.
Exactly. Yeah. That's very crazy. That's very, very crazy. Not you. And also another thing, I just want to make it clear. It's not that when I say I don't like Tiffany, I don't like the character she portrayed, because I don't know these people. Yeah, we don't know her. But I'm just going to take it as the character that you show on TV. It could be a character you playing up. I'm not a fan of. Continue.
Yeah. Well, Tiffany, Mel, and Kimmie meet up for a workout. Mel tells us this is her personal trainer. Mel, this ain't your daggone personal trainer.
This your auntie.
Exactly. This your auntie business, okay? But we'll go with it. Just like with the drug test. We gonna go with it.
We gonna go with it.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. I ain't going with this. Listen, I saw that and I was like, this, you go to church and like you gave one of them church mothers a shout out.
Exactly.
To something that, you know what I mean? I don't know what's going on. Continue.
Yeah. Well, they noticed Tisha's energy was off.
Yes.
They bring up the barbecue. Tisha says Keke is still doing the same thing she's done in the past. Like when she first got on the show is when her and Keke stopped talking because Keke had made some threats at her. I wouldn't have talked to Keke after that, because I think Keke said F you and a baby, and she was pregnant. And I was just like,
Jesus Christ.
You know what? I'm good.
Yeah.
Yeah, but Tisha says that she knows she's still doing drugs. And what got me in that scene was that Mel didn't say, like, well, we took a drug test, everything came back negative, but maybe the scenes were out of order. Maybe it hadn't happened yet.
And also, that seems very crazy to say, like, we took a personal drug test besides you took it to, like, if you want a drug test, you just take them to LabCorp or something like that. To say that, hey, I went to Walgreens, or like I went to my local pharmacy store and I got a little vial that have, you know, that you could pee in and things like that. Look, the only thing that's, and I'm gonna let you finish, but there's certain things that I don't want us to rush past.
Yeah.
Right? As the cousin, as the family member, as the one who have the most interactions with this person, I could probably say I know this person more than you, Mel, more than you, Kimmie. Should we take Tisha's word, right, that Keke is still on drugs? Because she said, I know she's still on drugs.
I honestly...
Come on, help us, Blair. Help us, Blair.
I know the drug test happened. We're going with it. Oh, no. But I would tend to stick to the word of somebody who knows them best and who can say whether or not they're acting in their right mind or not. And I just, think to my family, and I've not been in close contact with certain relatives who's been on drugs, but certain family members who have been, and I would take their word on whether or not somebody's doing good or not, you know, because they're around them more. So typically I would trust what Tisha would say about somebody she's close to.
Yeah,
So
yeah. The only thing that disturbed me, and we go see more, like, Mel, who are you to basically debate this woman's cousin? Tisha is this woman's cousin. She's like, I know she's on drugs, and Mel's like, well, how do you know she's on drugs? She's like, I know she's on drugs. She says she's not on drugs. I know she's on drugs.
yeah,
Like Marsau said, if any of y'all had to wake up 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock in the morning to pick up this girl on the side of the street, raise your hand. Now, I ain't see nobody hand go up.
yeah,
I ain't see nobody hand go up, you know? And my whole point is, for one, I have to, just offer ignorance from just being on this side of the table, right? I have to put more weight on Tisha's word, right? I have to put more weight on that word more than the drug test that was shown to me, because there was things that Tisha was saying in that interaction with those three, with Kimmie and Mel. She was like, look, she called me a couple days before we even met up, and there was some type of like trying to tell me stuff and things of that nature. You get what I'm saying? Come on, walk us through it. So like, we definitely could talk about this.
yeah. Well, Mel asked before the barbecue, did anything happen?
Yeah.
Tisha says she's about to go.
She's about to go.
Mel says that Keke felt bad about the way that she acted, and Mel was trying to, in a way, have Keke's back of just saying, like, I did speak with Keke. I know there were conversations before the barbecue that kind of led up to the blow up, and she was putting it out there for hopefully Tisha to touch base on it, but clearly she didn't want to talk about it because it was involving her marriage, and I think really she's over talking about the issues within her marriage. Tisha said she's done, she's not talking about it anymore, and she walks off.
Yeah.
Mel tells Kimmie that Tisha, even though she's saying like she's good, she's done, it seems like she's still bothered, and Kimmie is like, well, I don't take it as her saying that everything's fine. She's taking it as like there's a real issue going on, and she just doesn't want to address it.
Yeah, I think what Kimmie said, to be exact, is because Mel was trying to make it seem like there's something deeper that Tisha's not telling us, and Kimmie was like, I don't think that's it. I think she just don't want to talk about it. And let me criticize Tisha for a minute, because Tisha, I've been watching you for 6 seasons. This is season 6, you say it is? And I have these Tisha moments every time I watch this show, because I'm a big fan of Tisha, and when Tisha lets me down, I'm just automatically go, Tisha, right? Tisha, there has to be the character that you portray on the show, because I don't know you. There has to be some type of maturity to your character. You can't storm off. You get what I'm saying? You have to be able, which Marsau was actually talking about, which he's been talking about the whole time y'all been on the show, of being able to take accountability, not so much of taking blame, but guess what? You decided to come out and hang with these people, to work out with these people. If you knew that you was in a foul mood, that you knew that this probably would be a topic of conversation, why did you agree to go? But you're there. If you're there, be there.
Yeah, and you're at work, and part of your job is having these conversations.
So my whole thing is like, yo, if you're there working out with Mel's auntie and Mel and Kimmie and things of that nature, like, storming off doesn't make you look like it just looked like both of y'all got a little kiki in y'all storm off, y'all act erratic, and sometimes and it just pops up. And I understand you may be frustrated, you don't want to talk about it, but you're an adult. Use your words. Say, I don't want to talk about this. I don't want to talk about this.
And she did, but they kept pressing.
I don't want to talk about it.
Yeah, just keep saying it.
And that's where my problem with Mel coming in this, because you're not Keke spokesperson, lawyer, representative, whatever it is, right? You have to understand, Mel, that whatever data you have is not more than the data that Tisha has.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, when you're in front of Keke, accept what she say, and when you're in front of Tisha, accept what she say. You can't be like, well, you know, Keke feel real bad about what. No. Keke's a grown adult. If Keke feels bad, tell her to call me and apologize. I ain't gonna answer. You get what I'm saying? Or have her husband call and apologize. I ain't gonna answer that either. You know? So like, this whole thing of, I do not like the fact, even though I got on Tisha for acting immature, even the whole like walking by somebody and things like that, not saying anything, that's just seemed much. Just sit there, sit in the fire, sit there,
sit down,
sit there, and guess what? Sit there and be disturbed. You know what I mean? But just, well, excuse me. Like, that's childish.
It's childish, yeah.
You get what I'm saying? That's my only criticism of Tisha. That throughout this show, of her being a mother, of her being an entrepreneur, a business partner with her husband, she have these, like, childish moments that I'm like, whoa. And Marsau even said himself, we're better than this. We are better than this. We are Scots. You're acting like we don't own nothing. That's one of my favorite lines he said in season 1. You get what I'm saying? You act like we don't own it. We are better than this. We don't have to respond to what people say about us. We don't have to react to what people say about us. We don't have to act out. You know? My only criticism as well to Mel, outside of the other criticism that I gave you, is you cannot dismiss someone else's experience to try to exalt the side you on.
Yeah. You
on Keke's side, and you basically make it seem like, you know, hey, she said she clean. And that's when Tisha's like, I know she's not clean. And I have to take Tisha's word for right now. I have to. Let's move on.
Yeah. Well, Martell goes by Nell's house.
What's up, Martell?
And Nell brings up how Mel didn't speak to Marsau. And she told Mel, you know, it doesn't hurt for you to speak. She tried to hold Mel accountable.
Mind your business now. Really. He's trying to take my kids. Mind your business.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, Martell. Yeah. So Nell tells Martell about the name change party. And Martell says that it's the realization that it's done now. It's been done. It's like he has a hard time with reality. I don't know what it is.
No, I mean, no. You have to understand something. Like, even though I'm gonna show some empathy and some sympathy, just a little bit.
All right.
Right. To the one who he ruined his family.
Yeah.
He ruined his family, and he messed it up. Right. That has to weigh on him. That has to weigh on him. I'm not saying that he's a changed man. I'm not saying that, you know, I know he wish he could have a do-over. I'm not even saying with that do-over he would do better.
He would probably do the same.
But my thing is, with the reality of his life and where he is right now and where the relationship is with someone that he grew up with and things like that, in love with all these kids, that has to weigh on you. That has to weigh. Even as a narcissist, as he is, not me, right? That has to weigh on him to where he's like, yo, I lost. like you get what I'm saying? Like, I really lost. There's, like, in the history books, only thing I have is my kids to show of this. I have nothing else. Continue. Come on, walk us through the scene.
Yeah. Well, Marsau doesn't think that Nell should attend this name change party.
Okay.
He thinks it's a slap in his face. And Nell tells Martell, look, I told you about this years ago. Basically, what your cheating would come to.
Oh, yeah. We warned you.
Yeah. And Martell was saying, like, it's like meddling in his face. I didn't really understand the word that they were trying to use and, like, how they were trying to use it. But that's what he said. It was like meddling in his face.
Okay.
And then Martell starts to bring up, well, did you talk to Mel about her affair that she had
stop
while we were in the marriage? And Nell was like, I don't know anything about that. And I don't believe that. Yeah. And then Martell says, well, she cheated with multiple men. You need to ask her. You need to talk to her. And he gets all worked up. He thinks with them attending the name change party, it's them picking a side. And he also wants to know all of his friends are going to be going to that party because he's not going to want to fool with them after that.
Listen here. Do we believe Martell when he said that Mel cheated on him as well in the marriage?
Yeah, I can believe she cheated on him. I think they mentioned it during one of the reunions, but I think it was after he had been doing his thing for so long. So I don't hold her to it. He had already defiled the bed. So.
Oh, okay. So we might as well just make it more messier. Huh?
Yeah.
How do you feel about Nell going to the party? Because, matter of fact, let me ask the question before I give you my response. So so I don't defile your response.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Oh, ask me again.
How does thank you.
Sorry.
She paying attention, y'all. How do you feel about Nell going to the party?
I feel fine about it. I mean, she's Mel's friend. I know they're saying they're Martel and Mel's friend. I think they should stop being Martel's friend because he don't seem to be a good friend. He can't even get up out the daggone house.
Okay.
So to me, I'm like, y'all should pick a side, and the winning side is Mel to me. But if they still want to continue to be Martel's friend and Mel's friend, because that happens sometimes, you're couple friends with people, they split, and you still want to be cool with both of them. She can go and support her friends in whatever way she chooses. So
yeah, that's my only criticism of Nell. Stop acting like you Martell friend. And I'm not even telling you not to be Martell's friend. You already chose a side. Don't make it seem like you are. Don't make it seem like, hey, I'm supporting both. No, you're not. Because in the preview for next episode, you went back and basically told everything that Martell told you in private. You get what I'm saying? You chose a side. Even the conversation you had with Marsau and Tisha, you went to Mel and told her in private. You get what I'm saying? You are Mel's friend. You are the victor's friend. And I think when it comes to women who've been cheated on, she can relate to Mel's story because in her relationship, as she let us know in how Chris caught her stray, you know what I mean? She said, well, you and Chris ain't right. You know what I mean? Even though Chris is like, I don't know how my name came up in this, I think she can relate to the victor's story. Yeah. Of like, hey, I've been in her shoes. I know how that feels like. If you ain't want this to happen, if you ain't want this party to happen, and I agree with that 100%. If you don't want this party to happen, if you don't want her to take your kids, if you don't want her to garnish your paycheck and stuff like that, to take that and things of that nature, stay with her. Don't mess up. All these things, and you like, man, all these women, he went on his little tirade. All these women want to go after men and things of that nature. Listen, forget women. Your woman wouldn't go after you if you didn't do what you if you didn't do what you did. You got me over here stuttering a little bit. She wouldn't have gone after you, wouldn't have this name change party, wouldn't be trying to get custody of the kids, wouldn't take the businesses or wouldn't end the businesses and things of that nature. Bankrupts and all the above. All that wouldn't even apply to you, Martell, if you would have just stayed focused on what was in your house. If it was that valuable. Yeah. So people won't be rubbing it or throwing it in your face and things like that. Like you had the chance to actually stop all of this in the beginning. And guess what? Marsau told you in the beginning, season 1, when you try to fight him for no reason because he kept telling you, hey, a man that's trying to get right with his wife don't have 2 phones. Yeah. He told you. You know what I'm saying? Chris and Nell, who actually been through the whole cheating and things and getting back together, fixing it and moving on. Guess what? Hey, you don't want this. You don't want this because guess what? Every now and then, I'll bring it up angry. You don't want to be with someone that can continuously bring up what you're wrong doing even though you're trying. So, Martell, you have to lay in the bed that you made. You just have to. Anything else you want to share, Blair? No. All right. Y'all be good. Bye. Bye.